Hi, my name is Mareesa. I am a relationship counselor and coach. I work with people that are getting married for the second time or more. I do premarital work with these couples. Those who are remarrying couples, it is a relationship where one or more of the parties have been married at least one time before, and now they're considering getting married again. So my goal in working with remarrying couples is to give them the essential tools that they need to build a strong foundation and a relationship that lasts forever. So I am here today to talk about some myths regarding remarrying couples, some things that maybe you don't know about, or some things that maybe you've even thought about yourself. So the first thing is that a lot of people who's been married before and are considering getting married again think that because they are with somebody that is completely different characteristics, that this marriage is going to last. Well, that's not always the case. A lot of times we don't address the issues that caused the first relationship to end. And so we're jumping into another relationship thinking that, oh, the problem was my ex. And so now that this is a different person, different characteristics that we might view as better, we might think that this is going to work out. Not always the case. So you absolutely need to look at what caused your last relationship to end. How did you contribute to the end of that relationship? How did you contribute to what went wrong in that relationship? Because sometimes, as much as we'd like to think, oh, it is all the other person's fault, but I would venture to say all of the time, it's never true. It's never all of the other person's fault. Sometimes, people might take 70-30 responsibility or 40-60 responsibility, but everyone has some responsibilities in the demise of their previous relationship. And it is very important for you to take a look at what happened, what you did to contribute to that relationship ending. And if you're not able to do that, if you haven't done that, yes, this person might be different that you're getting with and you're marrying or you're considering marrying, but you are still the same. You are still the same person with whatever habits or whatever conditions that you brought to the previous relationship that might have contributed to the end of the relationship. So it's important for you to take a look and see, what did you do? How did you contribute to what happened previously, and make the necessary changes, work through the necessary things so this does not impact this marriage that you have now, this potential marriage that you have now. Because if this is your person, you want to show up the best that you can. I have 3 ingredients that I often think about as far as what you need in order to have a healthy, strong marriage. And this is definitely part of the first ingredient, which is self-exploration, knowing yourself. So when we talk about, this relationship is going to be better because this person that I'm getting with is different, that might be so. It may be better in some aspects, but if you haven't dealt with the issues that caused the first relationship to end, then, you are probably headed for a similar outcome if you don't address these things. So that's one myth. The second myth is that, I did premarital classes with my church, and so we should be good. We should have a better chance. And that may be true in most cases, but in the cases of people that are remarrying, that isn't true, because the churches, the premarital counseling does not address the specific needs of remarrying couples. And churches often address the needs of first-time marriages. Churches don't address ex-spouses. They don't address ex-in-laws. They don't address the financial situations that might have occurred from the first divorce. And they don't address the emotional toll of a failed marriage. Some of the things may be helpful to a remarrying couple, but I would say most of the significant issues are not addressed by churches when it comes to remarrying couples. So you definitely need somebody who is focused on your specific need in order to build that strong foundation in order to, build a foundation that will equal a successful marriage. So that's the second myth. The third myth is, I'm not connecting well with future stepkids. We are just doomed. That is not true. So, of course, it is always difficult when you're blending a family. Things are not going to be easy and quick. But one of the things that's the biggest and most important is that both parties have to be on the same page. The adults that are bringing this family together, that are blending this family, they have to be on the same page as to what it is that they're going to do and how they're going to manage this blended family. If you are on the same page, it is likely that you will have some success. We want to address that. We want to talk about that before we get to the place where there's conflict or we start to feel like this marriage is going to be doomed because we feel like an outsider in our own family because we're not meshing well with the stepkids. So this speaks to my second ingredient, which is to talk about things, right? To have the hard conversations. This might be a topic that is a hard conversation, but very important conversation. So I would say have the conversation. I would say understand your role as a step parent. Don't go into the marriage in the very beginning trying to be a disciplinarian, trying to kind of like run the show, because that should be left to the biological parent. The step parent should be a support to the biological parent. Just because you're not getting the attachment that you want right away with your stepkids doesn't mean that your marriage is doomed. It's not a reason not to get married, but it definitely warrants some attention. And so I say be patient and have the hard conversations around this topic. So these are my 3 myths that I wanted to bust today. I hope it was helpful for you. If you are in a remarrying stage of your life, you're about to get married, stick with me. I can help. Thank you for watching, and I will see you soon.